Welcome again, Wildcats. All right, so today we're looking at Monday, February 13th, graphing rational functions. And before I actually move on, we're going to do something a little different in today's video. Now, normally there's a video per each day, but this week there is going to be one video. Okay, I repeat, one video. Okay, so what I'm going to do in this video is explain what's happening Monday through Friday this week. Okay, so Monday in this video, we're going to go over graphing rational functions. On Tuesday, you're going to work on CBA3 review independently or with a partner. And then on Wednesday, February 15th, we're going to go over CBA3 review as a class as long as you have it completed before class. So have CBA3 review completed before class, okay? And then on Thursday, you're going to complete CBA3 independently. And on Friday, February 17th, you're going to complete CBA3 for your response independently, okay? So if you would, pause the video and update your table of contents. All right, I'm assuming your table of contents are updated, so let's take a look at Monday. All right, so this is going to be page 56. All right. Now, today's a little different in that we don't have any notes. We're just going to go straight to the examples, okay? Now, you'll notice that it says graphing rational functions, and you're like, wait a second, Mr. Luke, there's no graphs. Well, what I want to do in example 1 and 2 is explain how you can understand the asymptotes in the domain range without the graph based on transformation knowledge, okay? And the reason being is, some point in your life, all the power in the world is going to go out, and all the pencils and paper are going to disappear, and you're going to be given a problem like this, and you have to figure it out without graphing, okay? So you won't be able to graph it on paper or on a calculator, okay? Could happen, okay? All right, now, I'm actually going to start by looking at example 2, okay? So we know that the asymptotes are moved from x equals 0 and y equals 0, okay, based on the transformations. So we know that the x minus 1 here is going to move the vertical asymptote to the right one, okay? So we know our vertical asymptote is x equals 1, okay? And we know that our horizontal asymptote is going to move to the, or down 1. So our horizontal asymptote is y equals negative 1. Now you're probably saying, but Mr. Luke, what about the 3 and the negative? The 3 and the negative aren't going to affect the vertical asymptote or the horizontal asymptote, okay? All right. Now, I want you to think about, and I actually want you to write here why the 3 and the negative don't affect the vertical asymptote, the horizontal asymptote, and then let me know in class on Monday what you came up with, okay? Now, we know in a rational function that the domain is all real numbers except for the asymptote, which in this case is x is 1. So we know that it's all real numbers except x equals 1. And we know the range is all real numbers except for the horizontal asymptote, which in this case is y equals negative 1. So y does not equal negative 1. Now, what I'd like you to do is pause the video and try example 1. And then once you've tried it, click play, and then you can check with me to see if you did it correctly. All right, so here we can see that we have no horizontal transformation or vertical transformation. So we know that in a rational function, the vertical asymptote is x equals 0 and y equals 0. Now, down here, I want you to think about and explain why the negative or the 3 doesn't affect the vertical asymptote being x equals 0 and the horizontal asymptote being 0. Okay, y equals 0. Now we know that the domain of a rational function is all real numbers, but it excludes the horizontal asymptote. So x does not equal 0. And the range we know is all real numbers, but it excludes the horizontal asymptote, which is y equals 0, so the range does not include 0. All right, so finish up example number 1 and 2, or checking example 1 and looking over example 2. All right, so let's look at example 3. Okay, now it says identify the vertical asymptotes, horizontal asymptotes, domain and range of each, then sketch the graph. Okay, now Now we know when we graph by direction. All right, so we know the directions for a rational function are -1, -1, 1, 1. Okay. Now we know in a rational function we move the asymptotes, and we know they always start out at x equals 0, y equals 0. Okay. So in this case, we know we go up 5, so we move the asymptotes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know that the vertical asymptote didn't move, so it's x equals 0. And we know the horizontal asymptote's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So y equals 5. Okay, so we know we graph our transformation based on where the asymptote is. Okay, so from the center of the asymptotes, we go left 1, down 1. Okay, now we know that the graph comes close to the horizontal asymptote and towards the vertical asymptote, but does not touch either. Okay, now here we go from the center, we go to the right 1, up 1. Now we know that the graph comes close to the vertical asymptote and towards the vertical asymptote, but never touches. Okay, and we know the domain is all our numbers except for the horizontal asymptote or vertical asymptote. And we know the range is all our numbers except the horizontal asymptote. All right. Now, what I'd like you to do is I just got back from Johnson Space Center like about an hour, maybe an hour and a half ago. So I ran home, had dinner with the family, did some science experiments, put some Alka-Seltzer in canisters and flinged marshmallows with catapults. And then I rushed over here so I could make sure that you had all your papers and Schoology and video set up for Monday. Okay, so with that, I'm going to take a nap for about 3 minutes. While I'm taking a nap, I want you to do example 4, 5, and 6. And so I'm going to wake up my nap in 3 minutes, and then I'll go over example 4, 5, and 6. Just kidding. I'm not going to take a nap. All right. So, which is a little factoid. I don't actually sleep at all. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how that works, but I don't. All right. So, now when we know we graph, okay, we move the asymptotes and we graph by direction. We know our directions are -1, -1, 1, 1. All right. So, since it's -3, we know we move to the right 1, 2, 3. So that our vertical asymptote is now x equals 3. And our horizontal asymptote didn't change, so it's still y equals 0. All right. But because the a value is 2 and we're multiplying by -1, we need to multiply the y values or the y direction by -2. Okay? So from the center, we're going to go left 1, down 2. Okay? Now remember, we come close to the horizontal asymptote and towards the vertical asymptote. Okay? And then we move to the right. Wait a second, that's not right. Pause for a minute, see if you can catch my mistake. All right. Whew. Let's all be glad we caught that. All right. Negative times negative is positive. So we're actually going left 1, up 2. Okay. So again, we're going to be moving, the graph moves towards or close to the horizontal asymptote and towards the vertical asymptote. Now here we go to the right one, down 2, and we move close to the vertical asymptote and towards the horizontal asymptote, but they never touch. All right, so now we know that the domain is all real numbers except the vertical asymptote, and the range is all real numbers except for the horizontal asymptote. All right, so let's move on. Again, right now, all you should be doing right now is just checking your work, okay? All right, so I'm assuming, again, you've done example 5 and 6, so you're just following along and making sure that your work is correct. All right, so we know we're going to be graphing by direction. So -1, -1, 1, 1. Okay. All right. Now, all right, so we move the asymptotes, okay? And we know we start at x equals 0, y equals 0, but in this case we go left 1, down 2. So our new vertical asymptote is x equals -1 and y equals -2. All right, so we know from our asymptotes we graph our directions. But wait, we have the a value is 3, so we need to multiply the y value direction by 3. Okay, so we go left 1, down 1, 2, 3. Now we know we move towards the horizontal asymptote, or move close to the horizontal asymptote and towards the vertical asymptote. Okay, now here we go to the right one, up 1, 2, 3. Again, we move close to the vertical asymptote and towards the horizontal asymptote, but never touch. Now we know that the domain is all real numbers, excluding the vertical asymptote, and the range is all real numbers, excluding the horizontal asymptote. All right, I'm hoping that you're doing great so far. All right, so let's finish up strong. Let's do example 6. And before we do that, just so you know, it's I never knew this because I don't stay very late, but since I'm here late, don't come after real late because there's ghosts in the hallway. I looked up and I saw like ghosts fly by. It was crazy. Okay, so don't come to school very late. All right, now, so we graph by direction. Okay, so we know -1, -1, 1, 1. All right, so again, whenever we're graphing, we move our asymptote. So we start at x equals 0, y equals 0. Okay, so in this case, we go to the right one, down, or to the right one, up 1, 2, 3. So we know our new vertical asymptote is x equals 1, and our new horizontal asymptote is 1, 2, 3, y equals 3. That's what the ghosts look like. This if you're all wondering. All right, so now we see that we're multiplying it by -1, so we need to multiply the y values by -1. Okay, so we go from here, we go left 1, up 1, and we know we're moving close to horizontal asymptote and towards the vertical asymptote. And here we go to the right 1, down 1, moving close to the vertical asymptote and towards the horizontal asymptote. Okay, now domain is all our numbers except for the vertical asymptote, And the range is all real numbers except for the horizontal asymptote. Well, it's not. Next, that's a Y. All right, so that gets you through Monday's assignment. And remember, on Monday, we're going to go over Thursdays and Fridays assignments. It's going to take up a lot of the time in class. Okay, but I think in this video, I've gone over, and I think you should see that graphing is very, very simple. Okay, so with that, have a spinerific Wildcat day.